on to Heat 3 for Race 14 of the Virtual Racing Championship here from Auto Club for 200 miles tonight. We're going to be starting in about 5 minutes. We'll get the green flag. Today, I'm joined by former Nork driver Tim Moore. How are you doing, Tim?
Doing wonderful. Glad to be along here and what's going to be a wonderful 200 miles. I expect a lot of tough, hard racing with this 9-car pack here tonight.
Yep. So, I'll go ahead and start off with some of the starting lineup. So, starting first, we have Tyler McDonald. Then we have Jarrett Talmadge, his teammate. So, we have two Miscraft Motorsports drivers starting 1-2. This team, really in the second half of this season, has been a lot better. So, we also have Drew Jua and Paul Jackson. The whole entire top four is Toyota right now. That's insane.
I'd
Then
say
there's
Drew
Thomas.
Jura. My apologies. I'd say that Drew Jura is one of those drivers that you definitely have to look for. I think he's going to be competitive towards the long runs of these races here today.
Yeah. Then we have Thomas Green in the 9 driving for Dark Horse. Then we have Austin Switzer in the 99. Then Ethan Hoffman in the 36. Jose Suarez in the 24. And rounding out the field, JoJo Sims in the 2 car.
Now, when you look up and down this lineup, you have to say, Christian, that maybe Tyler McDonald, obviously fifth pole of the year. It seems like he's been on his own platform, dominating these races left and right. You would have to imagine he's the class of the field today and obviously the favorite to win.
For sure, for sure. The past 4 races, he's won every single one of them. Now, at the beginning of the season, he didn't start off as well, but now these past 4 races, and even a few of the races before that, he has been performing at the top of the field every single race, and it's just insane how much he's been doing so well.
And you talk about doing well, only 3 races after this race here today until the chase begins. But let's look towards the bottom of that lineup. 2 drivers in particular that have also jumped out at me. You have JoJo Sims and Jose Suarez starting both 8th and 9th. JoJo 50 points above Jose going into tonight's race for the final chase spot. But as we talked about prior, one good finish for one of these drivers can totally shake up the point standings going to next week.
And as you say that, we are about to join here. They're still in the lobby right now, but once they load into race day, we'll get in that lobby and we'll start broadcasting for you all. Okay, so we're at race day now. We're going to load into the race. And as they're currently under pace laps, you still there, Tim?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, as we load in here, um, there's a few more storylines. Obviously, today we're racing with heavy hearts as we have lost F2 driver, an F2 driver earlier today in the Belgium Grand Prix. Very sad times for him and his family.
That being said, we will hold a honorable lap on lap 18.
No, lap 19.
Oh, rather lap 19. You're right. For today, in honor of Antoine Hubert, we also ask that you join along when that time comes along in the beginning of this race.
Yep. So we're going to go live now with pole sitter Tyler McDonald. We're right along with him. Obviously running a tribute to the F2 driver killed today. Very sad times. Another driver running a tribute to him is Ethan Hoffman in that 36, throwing back to his F3 car that he also runs. We should be going green this lap. Tyler McDonald has elected the outside. His teammate will restart on the inside, the 20 car of Jarrett Talmadge. Looks like today we're only going to have one hot seater. That's Thomas Green in the number 9 back there in his Baja Blast colors. We're having a few technical difficulties with getting Tim into the session. He should be here soon though. So I'll cover it for the first couple laps if it takes that long. As we are nearing the restart zone. Tyler McDonald gonna pull up a little bit here. Most likely gonna work with his teammate. And the green flag is in the air for Tyler McDonald. He edges just ahead of the 20, and Paul Jackson's right behind him on the outside. It's 3 wide behind them with Thomas Green and Eddie Kalegi. He slides up the track. They somehow don't wreck and they keep it green. As up front, we've got a challenge for the lead. Paul Jackson right behind the 28. Almost took it 3 wide with the 20 there. He's going to clear the 20, chop him off a little bit there. Jarrett Talmadge won't be too happy with that. And now he's going to try to clear the 28. And he gets to the outside. Not quite able to get there.
Looks like McDonald early on is going to have to deal with clear air, but you got to wonder the cars behind, these tires, they end up burning very quickly. The cars are only going to get more and more tighter off the exits of these corners.
As we ride along, as we ride along on the hood of the 19 car of Paul Jackson, right behind Tyler McDonald. Jarrett Talmadge still to his inside as he goes up on the high side trying to catch him. Not quite going to work for him here. And Jarrett Talmadge is going to now clear. As Paul Jackson gets into the wall a little bit, here comes Drew Jua and Thomas Green. Thomas Green goes below him. They somehow don't wreck. It's 3 wide. Eddie Kalegi right behind them. And Paul Jackson is going to stay to the outside of Drew Jua and take his position back. Small mistake there from Jackson. It's going to cost him a little bit.
Again, though, these cars getting good draft down the backstretch. You get tighter and tighter into the corners. But again, as you see now,
we have Jose trying to take the apron. Maybe trying to get a little bit of an advantage. I don't know how much that would give him, but should help nonetheless.
I think as you get off the exits of the corners, it's only going to get even closer together. Watching the 3 back, he's been moving a lot left and right, side and side with the 24.
And it looks like the 9 cars in the wall a little bit may have made some contact with that 99 there. Got a little arrow loose. Here comes the 24 and the 36. 24 inside him, 36, his team owner following him in that tribute to the F2 driver. We still have Tyler McDonald leading here, but his teammate is right on his bumper. Now he's at his quarter panel. He's going to block. Gets into the wall a little bit, but he keeps it going.
I tell you, Jarrett Talmadge has really come to life in these last few laps. He's looking faster and faster, and it looks like he's starting to really chase down Tyler McDonald as we get ready to head towards turn 3.
3 wide in the back between the 3 Chevrolets. And the 36 makes contact with the 24 and the 9. The 9 goes spinning to the inside, the 24 into the outside wall. It's going to actually affect 36 more than it did the other 2.
for the most part up in front. Oh, looks like the 19's going to dive on down. Oh, but the 19 hit the apron. It's going to be
Here comes the
wide
18.
as they come off.
The 18 trying to get 2 positions here. He got to the quarter panel of the 20, then he started fading, maybe stalled out a little bit there. And that's going to allow Paul Jackson to take the position back. Paul Jackson, bad corner by him. Almost got into the wall, lost a ton of time to his teammate, and now he's going to challenge him back again.
Tell you though, when you look back up in the front, Christian, Talmadge right back on the bumper of McDonald's. He's bringing a lot of pressure to his teammate early on.
He sure is.
Well, one car on the
as
wall
the 18's into the wall, I think he might have made a little bit of contact with the 19 or the 99, and that sent him back a couple positions. As Jarrett Talmadge is looking to the outside of Tyler McDonald, not quite able to get there. It seems like they can catch him, but they just can't quite pass him. As we have Eddie Kalegi on the outside of Paul Jackson trying to pass him. Eddie into the wall a little bit, and Paul's going to pull away. Oh, but he messes up in the middle of the corner, and here comes Eddie Kalegi once again, right to his bumper, almost hitting him.
Paul had a few brief moments going into the front straightaway. He bounced off the wall, and then you saw Kalegi bounce off the wall. Kalegi closing back into turn 3 has a good center, but let's see if he's going to have the run off.
And he gets a big run on the outside. He dives back to the bottom, trying to get underneath him.
Just can't get the runs, and it's harder to get them as these runs go on as well. Draft not necessarily in the favor of the bottom line, the preferred way to go. So they come off of turn 2.
Yep, and it looks like we have another challenge for the lead by Talmadge.
Talmadge continuing to get to the bumper. It's a 2-car race right now. 1 car back to the apron. That's Kalegi in turn 3. He's trying to do everything.
We hear a little bit of radio chatter. We hear a little bit of radio chatter with Paul Jackson saying that Eddie Kalegi needs to work with him or they're not going to catch up to those leaders, but Eddie continues to pass him. So obviously, tempers already flaring early in this race.
Tempers are flaring, but you just got to wonder how much the draft will actually affect these drivers in the long run. Can you really make up that much ground as the tires get older?
We're going to go on board with Talmadge, see what he can do here against Tyler McDonald. Tyler McDonald gets a little bit squirrely, and that's going to allow for the 20 to catch back up as they enter 1 and 2.
Talmadge is continuing to get to the bumper. He just can't get to the bottom. Thought the last lap he had a good opportunity. Let's see, he's got a good run down the back here. Maybe he'll contemplate going in. He's thinking about it now.
He's going to wait till the corner. Tyler McDonald gets in the wall.
Donald's trying to do everything he can to block. Ooh, Kalegi contact back there for the battle for third.
Yeah, I heard Paul Jackson once again not happy with the 99 of Eddie Kalegi being extremely aggressive early in this race as he drifts up the track, almost gets into him again. Paul Jackson not happy. He's going to dive bomb him. A little bit of contact. Going to affect Paul more than Eddie.
Yeah, Paul hit the apron, and he ended up getting a little bit loose. Good job saving it.
Now Drew's going to get past him.
Yeah, it's going to cost him a lot of time. And now this 2 is most certainly checked out. They have at least 2 seconds over Eddie Kalegi in third.
This has basically been the story of the second half of the season. Early on, and for the majority of the race, we just have these 2 Miscraft Motorsports teammates just pulling away and dominating these races. I think Jarrett Talmadge is due a win, though. Tyler McDonald's got all of the last couple wins. And Jarrett Talmadge, more than one time, has finished second to his teammate.
Well, right now for Talmadge would be the right time to win a race, considering, again, we only have 3 races until the chase after this, and you want to get all the momentum you can going into the playoffs.
Well, he doesn't have to worry too much because he and Tyler McDonald have already clinched positions in the playoffs. They have enough points to where even if they didn't race any of the next races, they would make it into the playoffs.
You know, I just keep on looking
It's
at
insane to me. It's insane to me that Tyler McDonald has over 200 points on the rest of the field. Drew Jua in third is 276 points back. That's insane.
Well, it is insane, but again, that's where consistency pays off. But you have to remember, Christian, that doesn't mean that's going to guarantee you a championship. I mean, you look, for example, what happened in the Monster Energy Cup Series last year. You had Truex, Harvick, and, you know, Kyle Busch, the faces of the field. But then at the end of the season, Joey Logano ends up being the champion. Obviously, here things work differently, but you have to come out and you have to be consistent when it matters.
Yeah, as we have Drew Jua challenging the 99 now, and Paul Jackson's still lurking behind there, obviously not pleased with the 99. I think later on he probably will get payback.
Looking through the field, one car that seems to be having a lot of trouble is the 24 car right now. Far off the field. Trying to make up some ground. But the field pretty much spread out surprisingly with the exception of the front two. I expected it to be a lot closer in this early going between all these 9 drivers.
As we have Drew Jua on the apron, starting to pull away just a little bit from that 99.
Oh, how about a pit stop here for Tyler McDonald?
Early pit strategy by him. Talmadge is going to gain the lead.
That may come back to pay off.
Next lap is going to be next lap is going to be lap 19, so we better prepare for a moment of silence as we ride along with Talmadge. Once we cross the line, we're going to be silent for the rest of the lap. And as he comes out of 4, we'd ask at this time for everyone to please have a moment of silence. That's going to conclude our moment of silence. Thank you all who participated in being quiet there. As it looks like Drew Jua is going to have to battle past the 2 Miscraft Motorsports cars, and Eddie Kalegi is going to get into the wall.
Well, during that brief moment of silence, Talmadge also pitted, but it looks like he may not be the big winner after all that. It's going to end up going to the 28. Was that Kalegi?
Another car down pit road, Eddie Kalegi.
Contact
as we have
there.
the 19 underneath the 9. Drew Jua is still trying to get around these lap cars, but they're obviously going to be faster than him with fresher tires. More contact. Looks like Drew's going to pit this lap, maybe. He was on the apron. No, it doesn't look like he's slowing down. I think he's going to continue.
It saw some contacts between both Drew and Talmadge. But Drew continuing on. Again, we talked about strategies and how it's going to be different the two leaders early on pitting early to go with the better tires, but Drew trying to stretch it out and perhaps maybe looking for a yellow, although both of these guys racing their way back onto the lead lap.
And behind Drew Jua, we have the 9 car, obviously hot seating this race for Dark Horse Motorsports, or Dark Horse Racing, sorry. Looks like he's going to pit this lap, along with Drew Jua, our leader.
The 41 also
we'll see
ready
who else
in the
pits. We'll have to see who assumes the lead. We'll go on board with Tyler. I'd assume he would take the lead, but we'll just have to see.
I'll tell you, McDonald really expanded upon his lead here. Short pitting a lap earlier than Talmadge really paid off, and he has about a 1.5-second lead, if not maybe a little bit farther.
Yeah, and he's going to fly past those cars who pitted.
But I mean, if you think about it,
passing them now.
Indeed, Kalecki's also going to gain some space on those cars from behind, but you also have to look at it like this. Unless the yellows to come out, these guys are racing for the halfway point. And right now, it looks like the top 3 is going to end up being, obviously, the front 2 that were up ahead of McDonald and Talmadge, and perhaps Kalecki for the final bonus point.
Yep. And I think for now, we're not going to really focus on the lead, mainly just this pack of 2 cars right here with the 18 and the 9, and obviously Paul Jackson behind them lurking, being the 3rd car. Looks like the 9 is going to get a big run on the 18 here.
Ooh, looks like a little bit of contact with the wall for the 18. He gets a good run off the exit. Good arcing. No, Eddie Kalecki's got to be licking his chops up there because he's pulling away from these 3 while he has the clean air. And Paul Jackson, Christian, has been the big loser from the start of this race, falling all the way back from the positions he had gained early on, battling for 3rd with Kalecki.
Yeah, I honestly, if we don't see retaliation at halfway, I'd be surprised, because obviously the 19 is not happy with that 99. It cost him multiple positions here.
Continue looking through the field.
It looks like the 9's... Continue, sorry.
I apologize. Continue looking through the field. The 24 looks like he's made up some ground as well towards catching the back of these guys. But for the most part, still, it's 2 cars being the class of the field.
Indeed. The 20 has caught the 28. If we look here, he's definitely caught him. Now, I don't know if this has to do with fresher tires or if he just caught the draft and it's allowed him to pull up like this. As we look back here again with the battle for 4th, we have the 9 right on the bumper of the 18. Not going to get the position yet, but he gets a big run on the outside.
It's perhaps now better tires really paying off. Kalecki's also been getting run down as well from Drew.
Yeah. These 3 right here of the 18, the 9, and the 19, they definitely have the best tires on the track right now. Looks like the 9's about to pass the 18. He looks low. Gets back behind him. Now he's going to look high. He's going to barely edge through. And it looks like he's almost about to clear him. right on this quarter panel. The 18's going to clear him again. I say in the next couple laps he'll pass him. And they've also really caught Eddie Kalecki, like you said. They've caught him a lot. Maybe the 9 will get him here in 1 and 2.
Well, you have to remember, Kalecki pitted, I believe, 3 or 4 laps prior to these guys. So he has the older tires. But I'm also surprised the 9's going on the high lane entering 3. You would think you want to get to the bottom even with the draft, and now he does look to the bottom.
And he gets blocked hard by the 18. Tried to look below him, but the 18 just forced him all the way down.
Yeah, the 9, I'm surprised. He could have bumped him all the way down towards the grass. Looked like he'd gotten under, but Drew Jula was not going to be denied, and now he's all over the bumper of Eddie Kalecki as they cross the line.
Yep, and it's really become a 3-car pack right here. We could have a caution if these 3 continue to be aggressive like this, because it is a pack of 3 cars. Obviously, 3 cars bring out a caution here. The 9's going to push the 99 and try to pass him.
Yes, the 9 got a good advantage from the drafted Kalecki. Now let's see if he dives to the bottom of Kalecki, and he does. So Kalecki giving up the positions. Oh, and look at this, the 18 trying to make it 3 wide.
And now the 9 has gotten 2 positions in just 1 lap. Incredible job by him. And he is going to take 3rd position now. Obviously, there's no way he's going to catch 2nd, as we do have a battle for the lead starting to brew.
See, Talmadge has caught him back all the way. They're bumper to bumper right now, but this is exactly how we saw the first 15 laps of the race go. And head to tail, the Talmadge wasn't able to do anything. Perhaps this time he can take his first and actually earn it compared to staying out an extra lap.
Yep.
I believe if we look back, we have 4 lead changes to this point so far, and all of them through green flag sequence of stops.
We've got about 20 laps here until the halfway bonus on lap 50. It's currently lap 32. They're coming to 33 right now.
But Drew Jula looks like he's about to go to the inside of the 9, and he's going to take the position for P3. Oh, but the 9 dives back down low. This battle still continues for 3rd place. Continue to look on through the field. Drew it back to the inside. As they race side by side, Kalecki still looking behind. Looks like Kalecki perhaps had a little bit of an issue. Now he dives to the bottom. The 9 back to P3. Juba, oh, he ran in the back of him. That sends the 9 up the track. Juba to the inside. Thought about going on the apron. He's still right there at the corner panel. The 19 as well is starting to make up some ground. But they continue to battle. The 9 still up in front of the 18. And again now, Juba to the bottom. Can't get it done. He sits behind the 9 car and continuing on the push. Eddie Kalecki's gained up some ground because of that. And we also again mentioned back there, slowly creeping back into the picture is Paul Jackson. The 18 again to the inside. Oh, and now we have a pit stop here. Tyler McDonald will take another green flag pit stop. And it looks like Talmadge staying out yet again another lap.
We'll just have to see how this plays out. Depending on how long his stop is, this could really affect it. Because we can see anywhere from 14-second stops all the way up to like 16-second stops. Really depends on how quick your crew is.
Yeah, but it's a matter of pitting with an empty pits and pitting early, and he had a really good entry as the battle for 3rd, as mentioned, continues to brew. The 18 going back to the inside. The 28 just exiting the pits now, and Talmadge this time into the pits. So let's see how this battle
along with the 99.
Kalecki to the pits, and remember, he pitted about 2 to 3 laps after Talmadge the last time, so this time trying to stay on sequence. This should gain him couple positions back to 3rd if things cycle out properly. 20 just got into his stall. The 28 looks like he's just getting a 3 now. So McDonald looks like indeed when this cycles through, he should be the leader.
And we're watching the battle for the lead now. The 18's going to take it. The 9 is still there. They have been passing and battling each other hard for the past couple laps, honestly.
Talmadge just got into the track. McDonald dives it hard in the 1. Talmadge moves up, and McDonald zooms right on by. So that gap is going to be...
Speaking of zooming right by, for the lead, we had the 9 dive under the 18, but the 18's all over his bumper right now.
The 18, again, these two cars haven't separated in about 10 laps. They've been back and forth for the lead. It's been easily the most exciting battle on the track since we've had those first green flag pit stops. By the way, we're still watching for you if you wonder. The green flag pit stop that ensued for both McDonald and Talmadge, the differential is about 0.8 of a second between both. But Talmadge, again, starting to really close back down on McDonald as he does have the draft.
And looks like we did have a couple more pit stops, the 2 and the 36 pitting here.
Oh, contact! Oh, that's going to send the 9 up the track. Juba, though,
he's still on the track.
It's going to be tough. The 9 goes right back behind, but now will he dive to the bottom? This hard racing is only getting better as we start to close towards the midpoint.
The 9 still continuing to try and pass the 18. As the 18 hard into the wall, he's going to dive to the bottom, and the 9's going to capitalize here on the outside.
I'll tell you, I think tires are really starting to become the factor, because I'm looking back, the 19 just ended up bouncing off the wall too of Paul Jackson. Jackson again starting to get tight. And I'm surprised these guys aren't pitting. They're really trying to come out and log laps here.
I think what they're actually trying to do is I think the 28 and the 20 are on completely opposite strategies. I think they might be able to make it to the end of the stage without stopping again. So maybe they're trying to go the entire first half of this race with only pitting once.
Well, if you look through the calculations, the 28 should have 2 less laps of gas than the 20 should, because again, the 20 pitted 1 lap each time after. So the 20 of Talmadge should have the best mileage of the front too. But as you mentioned, as long as they continue to be on this strategy, the 18 and the 9 may have the best gas situation. As Kalegi now getting past Jackson, that's a thing to watch right there. Oh, he's getting behind Kalegi in the draft. Let's see if there's going to be payback.
Not yet, but the 19 is continuing to stay right close to the 99. Obviously, the 99 is a lap down, so I don't think Paul Jackson will battle him too hard. Obviously, Paul Jackson has not pitted yet. The 99 has. So I don't think we'll see them two battling too hard. As the 9 gets underneath the 18 again.
Jackson hit the wall yet again.
As they make more contact, 18 into the wall, hard. And now he makes a little bit of contact with the 99.
I'll tell you, that's going to kill all momentum for them. The last thing you want to see is Eddie Kalegi passing you on these fresh tires, because once he gets around, he's likely going to have the positioning. And by the time they all have to come down and pit, even if they try to stay out here in this strategy, Kalegi could be far out in front if they can't make it to the halfway point.
Obviously, Kalegi has way fresher tires than them. Going to easily fly by the 9 here.
And we also look back, Talmadge again back on the bumper of McDonald. This battle continues yet again.
And they're still not even on the lead lap. They're still a lap down.
It's another thing.
Or not quite a lap down, actually. Actually, it's not quite a lap down.
I believe when Kalegi got around, he should have put himself back on the lead lap. So these guys are towards the tail end. And the other thing, too, they're starting to catch the slower cars as well. So that should be another interesting thing as we continue to move on.
Looks like now the field has really started to settle as the 9 is going to pit here. The 18 and the 19 are going to continue to go. Obviously, the 9 probably thought it's time to get newer tires because his laps were getting a lot worse as the run continued.
Indeed, the times were getting a lot slower, and there was a lot of cars pounding off the wall too, because you only get more and more tighter off of turn 4 as these tires wear on. Another battle on the track. Farther back on the exit of turn 2, you have Ethan Hoffman and Jose Suarez battling for a position. Oh, it looks like Hoffman a little bit loose down onto the apron. And Suarez, for the first time in a while today, gaining a couple of positions since this last pit stop cycle.
The 18 pitting right now, and the 19, his teammate, also. We'll watch these front 2 drivers of the 28 and the 20 here.
Talmadge is really getting close with that 28 of McDonald, but he just can't get to the inside, and you have to give a lot of credit. It shows the dominant side of Tyler McDonald, how hard it is to pass him. He really knows, especially in these types of tracks, how to stick the most preferred line and make it hard to get to his inside.
Indeed, indeed. And they have now taken the lead by a long shot, all the way far behind them is the 18 and the 99.
I'll tell you though, the big winner, as crazy as this may sound, through those pit stops may have been the 18, because he really separated himself from the 9 as well as the 19 of Paul Jackson.
For sure, as yes, he did lose to Eddie Kalegi, but he's still right there within pouncing distance. And obviously now he has way fresher tires than Eddie Kalegi, almost 10 laps fresher, maybe even more.
Still, it looks like the battle for the lead's continuing to get closer, but it's just, again, the way the draft is working. Talmadge is just not able to quite get there. I mean, he gets close, but McDonald arcs the corner wonderfully so he can roll through the center, not really have Talmadge get a good run, and it allows him to get off the exit and kind of pull away, especially off of turn 4, more or less out of turn 2. But it's neck and neck, and I'm surprised Talmadge hasn't tried to go to the apron yet in turn 3.
Yeah, I think if he does that, he'll most likely wait until the halfway point as they're battling towards the halfway bonus.
That could really spice things up.
We only have 3 laps until halfway. It's currently lap 48. So getting very close. So Talmadge is definitely going to get more aggressive here.
And I would imagine, as would the field.
For sure.
It's the
as
only
Talmadge
real
did
battle.
gain a ton there.
I say a lot of these guys are really separated. This is the only real battle.
And he finally dives to the inside.
This is where it's going to be.
He's ahead of him, and he's going to pass him. And he clears him. Not quite. Tyler McDonald gets a huge run on the outside. Now they're even, neck and neck, coming onto the backstretch.
McDonald got a good run on the exit.
Tyler McDonald gets a slight edge.
Hey, he had a good run on the exit. He almost scraped the wall as he came off of turn 2. He's going to pin him tight yet again. He has the preferred line in the middle, but the bottom, as you come out of turn 4, may be the better lane if he can get some draft.
We're now currently, this is the final lap until halfway. They're still even. They've been dead even that entire lap, as it looks like finally Talmadge is going to clear him. And he tries to slide up, but McDonald knew he was going to do that, so he goes to the bottom.
It's a good slide job there, but can he complete it? They're going to probably try it again here in turn 3.
Let's see what the 20 does. He dives way below him. All the way on
to the
apron.
bottom. He's going to clear,
He's going to slide
too.
up again, and he's going to clear him. This might win him the halfway, but here comes the 28. He gets a huge run. Talmadge is going to block, and he is going to win the halfway bonus.
That's exactly what Talmadge needed. You know, it's tough for McDonald, considering he dominated this first half of the race, but Talmadge really shows he has the better long-run car at this point of the race. I believe Eddie Kalecki as well, he finished third there, so that would be your top three after the halfway point.
It does look like the 9 car did eventually get past the 19. So the 9 must have got a huge run because he was really far behind the 19 earlier in this race.
Now you gotta wonder, because again we talked about the issues with the 99 and the 19 and the radio chatter. Well, now they're going to be bunched back up and near each other. Do you wonder
as we have
if
the
these
24 mowing the
continue?
lawn. We had the 24 mowing the lawn a little bit there. As looks like I'd assume all of them would pit. Maybe 1 or 2 cars take strategy and don't pit, but I really think all of them are going to pit here.
Well, you have nothing to gain if you stay out, and indeed they all are going to pit. But we've seen now the first half of this race go down. You really have to wonder, Christian, what's going to happen here in this final 50% of the race? Who's going to get aggressive, and who perhaps may play a strategy that's just off from the others to try to put themselves back in this race?
Tyler McDonald will be the first into his pit stall. Now we have Jarrett Talmadge in his pit stall. Eddie Kalecki has the first pit stall, and Tyler McDonald has the very last. But we'll just have to see who gets the advantage here.
Kalecki may have an advantage, and look at that, he's going to cut out first. No,
the 20 narrowly beats him. He will restart
McDonald's
second.
having troubles back there. He just spun. He didn't have a good pit stop. He must have got jammed between some cars there on the exit.
The real winners here are the 36 and the 24. They've gained a ton of positions here on pit road. And the real losers are probably the 18, the 9, and the 28. They all lost a ton of positions, especially the 18.
Yeah, but it's a virtue of having a good pit stall here, and that's been the big factor here at Auto Club Speedway. Some tracks intermediate, like Phoenix, you prefer to have a middle pit stall. But here, you have a lot of space and, you know, a lot of room to make stops. So when you have that space, you really have an advantage getting off the edge of pit road. And that's what really helped these cars now get that have moved up and gained a lot of positions.
We should be going green this lap. Everyone's caught up. Talmadge is going to be your leader here with Eddie Kalecki on the outside. Paul Jackson behind him. Paul Jackson right on his bumper for this restart as they all bunch up here. And we inch closer and closer to the line. Green flag in the air here at Auto Club. The 20 on the inside, 99 on the outside. The 20 is going to get a huge momentum ahead of all these cars.
Ooh,
and the 36 slides up.
Yeah, he goes around. Contact. That's not good. Oh, and
multiple cars spinning here.
Kalecki involved too.
36 going to lose a ton of positions from that. I don't think it's going to be a caution, as we have a battle for the lead. The 19 dove it under the 20 and made a ton of contacts with him, and the 20 lost a ton of time. And now the 19 is your leader. I don't think the 20 is going to be too happy with him, as we do have a caution.
Yeah, if I were the 20, I wouldn't be too happy. It looked like the 19 just kind of used him as the 9 just ran to the back of the 2. I don't know if that perhaps was a little bit of displeasure, but you go back and look at that wreck. it indeed was, as the two now trying to get back up to speed, it indeed was the two car of JoJo Sims that caused all that trouble in turn one, as he went to the inside and made a bunch of contact as he was down on the apron.
Yeah.
The 36 hitting him now. Yeah, that's the car that is really irritated out of Ethan Hoffman.
Yeah, obviously he picked up all those spots out of the pits, and now he has to go back to the back. I don't think anyone's happy with the two car right now.
It was a matter of you had to make a split-second decision, but the split-second decision wasn't the issue of making it 3 wide. It was that knowing that you're going to be able to stick it, and he just wasn't able to stick it, and he ended up going right into Hoffman's left rear, and it was pandemonium from there on out. And the big loser out of all this from the accident, I believe, was Eddie Kalegi more than anyone compared to Ethan Hoffman.
Doesn't look like anyone's going to pit. I'd be surprised if they do. And actually, I think that might be a commitment line violation by Paul Jackson. Not quite sure.
The two kind of got forced out. I'm interested, though, what happened there with Drew Juba. He dove really to the inside of the 20 pen there because it looked like he wasn't maintaining pit speed. And oh, look at this. The 9 and the 18 made contact, and the 9 couldn't get to his stall. So, temporary mayhem in the pits.
The 9 is actually going to win the race off pit road, surprisingly.
I wonder how far back the 18 fell. I didn't see him exit the pits. He's behind the 24, so he really lost ground because of that. You know what? It's putting yourself, Christian, in the wrong place, wrong time. You question Gila trying to dive to the inside of McDonald going into the pits. And instead he finds himself now all the way in the back and being the biggest loser in the pits because of that situation.
So Paul Jackson's going to be your leader here. Ethan Hoffman did stay out, so he is going to restart second.
And we'll see now how much of a role will fresh tires face. I mean, these guys only went one full lap. You have to expect clean air to be a little bit of a factor, but again, when you've had both Talmadge and McDonald being the class of the field, you got to expect them to perhaps zoom through the field here.
As we should be going green this lap. Your leader, Paul Jackson. The 9 also gained a ton of positions. He was the winner off of pit road. He's going to restart fourth. As the green flag's in the air, Paul Jackson, not a good restart as the 36 is going to get by him on the outside. Not quite able to clear him. The 2 dives it in again. And JoJo Sims is going to take the lead. Contact, and Paul Jackson's going to go around through the grass. Will he keep it off the track? He does, and no one is wrecked. That was almost a bad crash. As there might still be one, as they are crazy up here for the lead.
They are, but JoJo Sims pulling away. You know, he was a driver I talked to that he said he would do anything to win today to help his scenario. And right now, he finds himself in the lead, just barely over the rest of this field.
Yeah, and honestly, the top 2 drivers haven't been up front all day. The highest the 9's been is 3rd, but that was during pit strategy, as he is going to get a huge run on the 2 here.
This is the one downfall for Sims. He doesn't have good enough rotation. He can't keep the inside lane through 1 and 2, or if that matter, 3 and 4, and it looks like the 9's going to go to the lead.
They may have made a little bit of contact as the 2 does get up into the wall. The 9 barely edges.
Either, which is a big surprise.
And as the 2 is still peaking underneath the 9 with his team owner pushing him. So it's definitely 2-1 right now with the 9 and the 2 McGuinness cars.
And I'll tell you, this has got to be really good for Thomas Green. Right
yeah,
now
obviously hot seat driver from Dark Horse. Their highest, he lagged out yesterday in the VNS Kansas race. Devastating for him. He's still the points leader, but he lost a ton of points. Here comes Jose Suarez on the inside out of nowhere, it seems.
And Jose Suarez, a good point, was almost a lap down earlier on, and now he's come to life. It's both him and JoJo Sims, 2 drivers that are competing against each other in points, and Kalegi trying to make a statement as well. But I mean, right now, this front 5 is a very strong group, as it looks like Talmadge really starting to make up ground on this top 2.
Yeah, and the 2 is starting to get passed by everybody. It looks like the 28 and the 20 are starting to gain, so maybe their cars are good. They just got put back a lot by the wrecks.
Now, Christian, I gotta ask, because I don't quite recall, was Eddie Kalegi on fresh tires after that last yellow?
I think he was. I think he came out 2nd or 3rd out of the pits, but he restarted 4th or 5th, I think. So he has really improved here.
The reason why, because I know for a fact the 24's on fresh tires as well as Talmadge, but right now, I mean, it seems like the fresh tires are starting to pay off for all these drivers, and it's been a good battle. The 2, he had stayed out, and now he's starting to suffer from it.
Yeah, the 9, 99, 24, 20, and 28, all those drivers took tires, and it's really helping them. And the drivers who didn't take tires, like the 2, the 19, and the 18, are starting to fall back.
Looks like the 36 of Ethan Hoffman's having maybe some lagging issues or just some issues out of turn 2. He's all over the place right now. That's something to look at in the back of the field. Oh, the 24 into the grass. Slides all the way up.
He's going to save it. He washes up the track. Going to lose a ton of positions here.
And it's Suarez just made up all that ground, and now he's going to have to try to catch back up. Look at this. Eddie Kalegi looking for the lead in turn 1.
And the battle for the lead is really starting to heat up. Eddie Kalegi's been all over the back bumper of this 9 car. I think we have the same situation that we had with the 2 Miscraft Motorsports cars earlier. It's just, you can get to the leader, but it's almost impossible to pass as the runs go on. You can get under his quarter panel, but if they're on the high side, they're going to pull away as they come out of the corner.
Yeah, I agree 100%, but at the same time, you have to look at the lines a little bit differently. Right now, I mean, Thomas Green's able to hold the middle line, while Kalegi's able to get all the way down to the white. He washed up a little bit there, but for the most part, is able to get all the way down to the white. And as we questioned towards the end of that halfway point earlier on, eventually you got to wonder if Kalegi will eventually dive below that white line, because we saw him do it earlier on in the race against Paul Jackson.
And it looks like Jose has gotten back around those 2 Miscraft cars. Well, no, the 28 of McDonald and the 2 of JoJo Sims, he still has to catch the 20.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when you
as
look
the 2
back
is going to
at
dive underneath the 28.
It does, but you know, Talmadge thought he was going to gain a lot of ground with the trouble from McDonald, but McDonald's done a good job reeling this pack all the way down. I believe he is the fastest car on the track as of the moment, but they still have a long way to go, as now Kalegi dives all the way to the bottom onto the apron, but he still can't get to the 9.
They cross the stripe there. We still have a battle for the lead. These 2 have sort of pulled away here, as the 4 cars behind them have been battling so hard, it's allowing them to pull away.
Here we go, Kalegi again to the inside of Green. This time he definitely has a bumper there. Let's see if Kalegi can get him going into turn 3 for the lead. dives all the
He's
way
going to
down
dive
low.
all the way to the apron. As Tyler McDonald goes into the wall.
Too. Oh, Kalegi just can't get it done.
Who's going to lead this lap? It's going to be Green, as he is going to maintain the lead here. As I said, like, as long as the leader has a good run out of the corner, it's almost impossible to pass for the lead here.
Indeed, it's about getting runs and getting them at the right time, but it seems like the only time you're able to make a pass is earlier on in the runs, which it could be a good sign if you're the leader, because you know you're able to defend the lead easily as long as you're taking the right lines.
Eddie Kalegi once again dives all the way to the apron, just not quite able to get past that 9.
Now, Christian, I got to ask you, this is the most jumbled up we've seen this pack in a green flag run in a little while. You got to wonder, as these tires start to wear on, you know, what's going to happen, because we saw a lot of cars pounding the wall in the last green flag run. Are we going to see that here in this green flag run?
It just really depends. I think if we have any trouble behind the leaders that have really been battling, and Jose has got around all of them.
And Jose, I mean, we were just talking about how he had his issues, and now he's all the way back up ahead.
As we are on lap 69 here, slowly approaching lap 70, as we will just have about 30 laps to go here in this race. It's a 200-mile race, but it's only 100 laps. We'll have to start wondering when these guys are going to pit.
From my understanding, most of these drivers, they would like to, you know, have very fresh tires towards the end of this race. But I would not be surprised if drivers like Tyler McDonald and Jarrett Talmadge pit as soon as they can to gain some track position, as Talmadge dives into the inside of Drew Jua for position, and he'll even get on by the 2 of JoJo Sims.
And the 18 is going to dive underneath him. They're really getting aggressive. And speaking of aggressive, the 99 just put the 9 into the wall.
Kalegi perhaps had enough. I think he had enough. He sat there for long enough, and he sees the 20 making moves from behind. He wants to pull away from this pack in relatively quickly. How about Eddie Kalegi, though, having a day, working his way all the way to the lead? And I'll tell you, he looks like he has a really loose setup with the way he has it set up, because he's really getting solid rotation here in this late run.
But it
we
does
have a
look
car
like
in
the
the
9 is
grass
catching
back
him back.
there. There's trouble back there. I think, well, maybe that was Paul Jackson. Maybe not. I can't tell which car that is. Someone bounced off the wall and went through the grass, though, in that back portion of the back.
Yes, it's heating up between Talmadge and Jose Suarez back here. Actually, no, Drew Jua. Sorry. And they are still dead even. They've been side by side for a few laps. As the battle for the lead's heating back up, the 9's diving underneath him, making contact, possibly paying back. And he's going to put the 99 into the wall.
If I'm Eddie Kalegi,
and he's going to pull in. Oh, no. Looked like he was going to pull into pit road there. Not quite. As he clips the grass to clear the 99. Retaliation, and he's going to take the lead back. But Eddie Kalegi's not done with him yet. He's going to dive to the inside once again. Looks like the 9 will maintain the lead on the outside.
If I'm Eddie Kalegi, I'd be smart here, because the more you race side by side, bounce off each other, the faster this group from behind is going to catch you, and they already are starting to make up this ground. Kalegi again to the inside, but he's not going to have enough.
Yeah, once again, really diving it in there. He had to get off a ton to not make contact with that 9, because obviously he's already made him mad enough, and you don't want to beat an angry hive of bees any more than you already have. That was a weird one.
Well, you are right. It is a hive back there. That's for sure. I mean, it's almost as crazy as it sounds. It almost reminds me of Talladega, where if you make the little bit of contact, through the side drafting, all of a sudden everyone else from behind you is going to catch you, and they're going to catch you quickly.
It's really starting to shake up here. The 18 is now the leader of this small little pack of cars back here, and Talmadge is now challenging him for third.
I'm really surprised this 28 and 20 have not been able to. Oh, and actually we have 2 cars pitting as well. Paul Jackson and JoJo Sims. Oh, and actually
along
the
with
36
Hoffman
as well. Yeah, Hoffman's coming off of pits now. But
and the 2 and 19 are pulling on now.
I'm really surprised Talmadge and McDonald have not been able to gain as much ground as they have. McDonald at one point in this run was the fastest car on the track. He gained about 5 seconds on the lead, and he stalled out since he's caught this group. I'll tell you, there's no one that's loving this more. Oh, Eddie Kalegi to the pits.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. I was focused so much on that battle back there with all those drivers that Eddie Kalegi is now pitted, and that's going to really affect the strategy of this. I don't think the 9 car saw it coming. It looks like he's slowing down a little bit, so I think, yep, he's pulling down. He's pitting this time.
He has no choice. Kalegi outbeat him on the strategy. He broke a little bit loose getting the entry. Oh! Big trouble back there! I believe that's the 18 of Drew Jula, who had missed the pits and spins around in the grass.
That's going to be huge for him. There's not going to be a caution, which is going to cost him even more. He's just going to have to go around another lap. As he pulls up on the track, almost gets into the 36.
I'll tell you, it's tough for Jula because it wasn't even his own mistake. What happened was he got there and the game just kind of screwed him out a little bit. We know sometimes the game likes
as we're riding with Eddie Kalegi here, we'll have to see who's going to win the race off of pit road. Will the 9 be able to maintain the leader? Is Eddie Kalegi going to pass him?
No, I think Kalegi's going to have
as we see the 9 up here, Eddie Kalegi's flying. We'll have to see how much the 9 battles him here, as we still have multiple cars. I think Drew is out of fuel.
I believe he is too.
He's either blown a tire or he's out of fuel. Yeah, he's out of fuel here.
And that's tough. That is big for Jula, because you have to remember he is third in points and he does look relatively safe. This is going to be a big blow for him as, now the 28. Oh, and he bounces off the pit wall too. But he luckily lands in the pits. But McDonald having a close moment entering pit road.
For sure here, as Thomas Green was able to maintain the lead from Eddie Kalegi, as we still see Drew Jua continuing to go multiple laps down. Hopefully, I'd assume he'd stay in the race, but it's going to be a huge blow for him in points.
I'm really surprised. Kalegi must have had a bad pit stop when we watched, because I could have sworn to you Kalegi would have had a 2.5 lead at this point, because when you usually take a lap, when you usually pit a lap earlier, you usually end up coming out the beneficiary. But this time, there's a caution. I think you're right.
There's a caution on the track for Jua. Yep,
well,
caution
maybe not.
For a stopped car. Yeah, the caution's going to come out here. I think one of the cars, most likely Paul Jackson, his teammate, is going to help push him back to pit road.
No, but actually it's going to be McDonald that's helping him to go back to pit road. McDonald shoving him as they come through, and they're trying to slow up because McDonald actually will go a lap down if things don't change in a moment. Obviously, they'll give him the lap back. Good to see, though, everyone helping out. That's the one thing. Shows, obviously, the sportsmanship that exists here.
Yeah, it really does. I'd assume he wouldn't do this if he didn't already have the points clinched.
McDonald's going to go all the way down into the pits, too. But again, I would imagine
I'm honestly surprised Eddie Kalegi pitted there.
Well, I think you have to. I think you have to because they ran about 4 or 5 laps, and we know what the tires do. As you get towards lap 9 and 10, they really start to get a bunch tighter off the exit. Cleggy thinking with his head. And you have to remember this one thing too, Christian. He has the first pit stall in the pits. So he's going to have a huge beneficiary over everyone else entering the pit stops. I think Cleggy took 2. That's interesting.
And we'll have to see who wins the race off of pit road here. Yes, Eddie Kalecki way far ahead of all these people. He most definitely took 2.
Oh, they're wrecking back there. The 2 and the 18 again coming off the pits. It looks like they can't get away from each other when it comes to exiting pit road.
And it looks like there may have been confusion if Paul Jackson got a commitment line violation. The review that JoJo forced him into pit road, so.
All right, so now
no
here's my question. As McDonald gets his lap back.
As Jua flies past getting his lap back.
Well, Jua should have been the lucky dog. Well, actually.
He is.
I was going to say, McDonald gets his lap back for doing the duty, but now do I wonder, do they allow him to pit again if he chooses to?
Yeah, we did see that. I couldn't remember what race. I can't remember what race it was at. I think it may have been. Maybe it was this race last year or something like that. But I do remember Tyler McDonald. He pitted after they had already gone a lap under caution and everyone else had already pitted. He pitted a lap after everyone because there wasn't a car caught up. And we've kind of coined it the Tyler McDonald rule. You are allowed, if you do not go green that lap, you are allowed to pit a lap after everyone.
Well, he was forced to come down with the 18 because he had to bump the 18 in the pits. Looks like the 18, you know what? And I do applaud this. They're letting the 18 go around. Oh, and now he's slowing down. So maybe they'll tell him to come on back. What happened to the 18?
Yeah, you're only allowed
really
to get one lap back.
Well, indeed. And I was going to say, though, the one unfortunate part, though, is that it wasn't of his own fault, which is kind of hard, but you know what? You have to assume things are going to happen, and no game's perfect for that matter. It's a tough blow for the 18, but, actually, you know what? I see the 9 lag out.
Oh, no. He's lagged out.
That just threw a monkey wrench in everything. So, you're going to have to catch me up to speed here. Is Kalecki going to be in second now because of that? He should be, right?
That's the second race in a row. He obviously lagged out of the VNS race last night. And he lagged out again today. Major connection issues.
How about this? Jose Suarez is going to be the leader as we come to green.
As we're going to go green here with not too many laps to go.
Ooh, looks like Suarez missed a gear or something. They're banging back and forth. Looks like Paul Jackson's all over the place. He hits the commitment cone down on the apron. Kalecki with the lead for the moment, but Suarez now to the lead as they come out of turn 2. And here comes Talmadge 3 wide.
Talmadge diving below. Eddie's going to go way down, and he's going to dive underneath the 24. He makes a little bit of contact. And
but Eddie
looks like
doesn't
he's
have the run.
not going to quite get him.
I was gonna say, he doesn't
He's
have
still
the
right
run.
on his. Yeah, he's still right on his quarter panel here. 18 laps to go here from Auto Club. Things really heating up. As JoJo slides up, he's going to get into the wall.
JoJo Sims
This race is
bounces off the
really
wall.
shaking up here.
Talmadge looks to the inside of Kalecki, and look who's right behind him as well, McDonald. Gonna get interesting.
Yeah, the two
here
Miscraft cars are right there.
Laps. Oh,
As they're
Kalecki
diving
makes
under
contact.
Jose Suarez again.
He made contact with the rear end of Suarez, sending him up the track. That's going to give Talmadge a big advantage, but he can't get to the inside of Kalecki, who goes defensive, and that allows McDonald to get to Talmadge's outside.
As it's almost 3 wide here, Eddie Kalegi narrowly blocks the 20, and the 28 is going to get a big run on the outside. Giurgiua also starting to come into the picture here, as they all are getting a huge run on the 24.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Suarez trying to do everything he can right now to defend this
Little bit of contact
Oh.
there. 3 wide for second.
Giurgiua goes all the way up the track. Suarez trying to defend, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold off this 20.
It looks like the 20 is going to be right on his bumper. It would be a huge win for Jose. His last win in the league as a whole came at Pocono last season.
Well, and for Suarez, too, he's 50 points out of the cut coming into today. And if JoJo Sims continues to fall farther back, that could instantly change in a nutshell, as he could get really close to that chase cut line.
Yeah, a win here today could really help him in points. As after today, we only have 3 races left until the playoffs here in the Virtual Racing Championship.
Oh,
As
Kalegi.
Talmadge now, Tyler McDonald into the wall. Eddie Kalegi
Yep.
and McDonald spin, so does the 2. That's going to bring out the caution as they race it back to the line.
I'll tell you, both Kalegi and Talmadge's cars really made a lot of contact. Looked like,
Who's going to
the
get
18.
second here? As they make contact, the 18 almost spins it. He saves it, and the 24 is going to be your leader as they race it back.
I'll tell you, both Kalegi and Hoffman's cars look a little bit similar. But Kalegi had made contact with Talmadge, and that created a lot of issues out of 2. I believe, is that only now maybe our 4th yellow of the day?
Yeah, 4th yellow, I'm pretty sure.
So not too many yellows. It's impressive.
We'll have to see who pits here. Obviously, Jose Suarez stayed out that last pit stop. Everyone else pitted.
And the issue is for Suarez now, you're the sitting duck. Because if he stays out, Talmadge is pitting. And Talmadge is pitted every single time the yellows come out, for the record, as well as McDonald, who unfortunately got caught up back there. But you have to assume if Suarez stays out, everyone else is coming in from behind. Now, whether they take 2 or 4, that's a different story. But let's see.
Yeah. As it does look like he's going to pit. Jose fakes it out. My goodness.
Paul Jackson got forced out, but that's beneficial there for the 24. Let me tell you why. Because now you force whoever comes out in 4th on that outside lane. It's going to be much harder to pass, since this inside's most certainly the preferred lane as the runs go on.
Right now, we have Hoffman G Motorsports going to make up the front row. They haven't, other than Jose Suarez, Hoffman hasn't really been up here that much.
Yeah, Hoffman's had a tough day, but the last time I believe we saw him was when we had that big wreck in turn 1 after I believe that was right after the midway point, when the field got stacked back up and he had a good pit stop. And if you remember all the way back, it was JoJo Sims who ended up creating that big wreck going into that corner.
The last good chance Hoffman had at a win in this series was last season here at Auto Club. He was leading on the last lap and got passed for the win and was extremely devastated at the end of that race. We'll see if he can redeem himself today, as we should be going green this time. As I aforementioned, Hoffman G Motorsports 1-2 right now, and 2 hungry Toyotas behind them.
I expected 19 to get aggressive here in this restart. He's done it 1 restart before, believe to McDonald. Actually, no, it was rather to Talmadge when it happened the last time.
And the green flag's in the air. Jose Suarez once again gets a terrible start.
Yeah, you most certainly
and
missed
Ethan
a shift.
Hoffman's going to take the lead as Paul Jackson once again gets a terrible restart and spins.
I think he had contact yet again from Eddie Kalegi, which, if
as
that
here
was the
comes
case,
the 20
Jackson
peeking
may not
for
be
the
happy.
lead. A little bit of contact. The 20's going to dive it in here. And the 24 is also going to pass him. I think really the only two that have a shot here is the 24 and the 20. I don't know. The 36 hasn't really been fast all day. But it would be amazing for him to win in this tribute scheme.
Well, indeed, it would be amazing.
As he makes contact with Eddie
Ooh.
Kalegi, he's going to go spinning. He makes contact with Tyler McDonald and JoJo Sims. That's going to be 2 cars. I'm not sure if it's a caution. We'll have to see as they race it back.
Well, the 24 is getting ready to dive to the bottom. They're swerving left and right. Oh, that's going to cause Suarez a lot of time. But, he gets a big run.
And he makes contact.
Oh, now the 18 goes around. The 24 is going to lose positions. And I believe that's Eddie Kalegi hustling his way up. And it is a caution. So, after all that mayhem, Suarez falls back to third.
If Jose Suarez wants to win this race, he is going to have to get a good restart here. Yeah, I don't think either of the HGM cars are too happy with that 99. Eddie did apologize, though. He said that it was his fault, so he's taking the blame. That might make them less angry.
Well,
as we have just 10 laps to go here. Well, actually 11 laps to go. We're coming up on 10 laps to go. As we'll have to see who pits here. I don't think Jose will pit, but he definitely does have worse tires than everyone else.
I think he has to pit. I think now Talmadge will be the class of the field. You're going to have to throw something off. I mean, Kalegi could have something, but he's not in the preferred line. And let's see, Talmadge fakes. Wow, only 1 car pitted. Well, maybe
2 cars.
Now is JoJo Sims. But I really would have pitted here. I think tires would have been beneficial in these first 3 laps, even if you only took right sides.
Yeah, for sure. As we have just 10 laps to go here from Auto Club. This will most likely be the final restart, so we're probably going to see drivers be very aggressive here, which could cause us to have another caution, which would give an even shorter shootout for the win.
You just got to wonder now, Christian, maybe you can answer my question here. Is there going to be a cutoff point for yellows in this towards the end of this race?
Yes, with 2 laps to go, there will be no more cautions allowed. No matter how many wreck. The entire field could wreck and there will be no cautions with 2 laps to go.
You know, I look through this field, and one driver you really got a feel for right now is Tyler McDonald. Remember, he dominated the first portion of this race. But ever since he lost the lead to Talmadge on the final lap of the first segment at the halfway point, he hasn't had a good race since, and his winning streak is in jeopardy.
Yeah. So right now, we should be going green this lap. Everyone's caught up, and we'll just have to see here at Auto Club. This will most likely be the biggest restart of the race for these guys who haven't really been up here, who really are hungry for this win. Obviously, Talmadge and McDonald have the playoffs clinched, so they can be easy here and just cruise. But the 20 is obviously still hungry for a win. As we approach the line, we're back green here at Auto Club. This time, the 24 gets a good restart. He pushes the 20. And he's dead even with the 99 now. Will he dive under the 20? He clears the 99. Right on the 20's bumper. Now he's looking underneath him. Not quite able to get there. And 3 and 4 is probably where he's going to have to make his move.
And Christian, you have to remember one thing. We talk about Talmadge being consistent as the 24 looks to the outside. He's looking for his first win of the season while he's out in front here at Auto Club.
Yeah, as the 99 goes up into the wall. And he's going to lose a ton of positions. Not good for him. Where did Paul Jackson come from? As he's challenging for second.
Jackson's had a lot of trouble all race, but suddenly he's really creeped into the picture. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he just take fresh tires still?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. And along with Jujula, he came from the back as well. And he's almost to third now. That just proves to you how good fresh tires are. As the 19 is going to dive underneath the 20. Not quite able to get there.
Jackson's on another level.
As we're coming to lap 95. And the 19 is right on the 20's bumper. He looks to the outside. I would not have taken the outside here. I would have taken the inside. But it does look like it's going to work for him. He gets a little bit of a run. The 20 slides up. Here comes the 18 on the high side. And here comes Tyler McDonald diving in underneath the 19. Now the 19 pulls up beside the 20.
This is where the slipstream is going to start being effective as these cars start bunching up in the center. Expect a lot of them to drive right into the back of each other, making them loose as Jackson to the inside for the lead.
And we have just 5 laps to go here from Auto Club. Who's going to get it here? Now, Paul Jackson, your leader. Now the 28's peeking underneath his teammate. He's been mired back in the back for the second half of this race, and he's tired of it. And now the 20 peeking underneath the 19. They make contact. 19 into the wall.
That's tough for Jackson,
and
but again,
I
it's
think
like,
at this point... Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. I was going to say, at this point, it's 2 guys that want their first wins of the season. And all of a sudden, here comes McDonald.
The 28 is right on the 20's bumper as we have just 4 laps to go here from Auto Club. The 28 right on his bumper. And the 18 goes up high into the wall. And he's going to lose a ton of positions to everyone here. And he slides right in front of the 36, making contact. The 28 getting a huge draft on the 20. What will he do here in this corner? He's going to wisely stay behind him.
You know, when I think of this and I look, it reminds me a lot at the edge, at the end of this halfway point earlier on. It was flip-flopped rolls. Talmadge was in second. McDonald was in first. This time McDonald's all over the neck of Talmadge, and you should expect with 2 to go for things to get dicey.
As we have just 2 or 3 laps to go here. 28 is right on the 20's bumper. We're coming to 2 laps to go here. I think either this lap or the next, the 28 will try to dive underneath the 20. As JoJo Sims has come out of nowhere.
We're at the point of no return now. No more yellows.
And now the 24 hard into the wall, 3 wide for third.
See, is McDonald gonna look to the bottom? Got a little run. Oh man, a lot of contact and swerving back and forth there for the battle for third, but it looks like McDonald still can't get around Talmadge as they come out of turn 4.
And we have just 1 lap to go here. Will McDonald be able to get around him, or will he?
Again,
the last time he had a win, it came in this Freightliner paint scheme last season at Watkins Glen. Will he be able to win here for the first time this season? His boss looks to the outside. I think he's going to try to dive it in here. No, he doesn't. He stays right behind him. Will he be able to pass him? He gets there, but he makes contact. At this point, it's Jarrett Talmadge's race. Racing Redemption, Jarrett Auto Club.
The big win for Talmadge, first of the season, and he did it in defensive and I would say dominant fashion. He held off McDonald on the inside, knew that he didn't want an opportunity for McDonald to dive it down on the apron. Talmadge gave no chance and denied McDonald the opportunity. All McDonald could do was drive straight in the back of him, and Talmadge drives straight away for victory.
And a surprise third place is JoJo Sims. The last time he won a race was at the All-Star race in Season 1 of the VRC.
I believe that'd be what, Sims' first podium of the season, maybe second?
I think it is his first podium this season. Thank you all for tuning into the OMA. This has been Christian Holder and Tim Moore. We wish you all a good night.